time. Welcome. Thank you again for joining us for today's session, AI Readiness for Nonprofits, How Pro Bono Expertise Gets You There. We're going to give folks another minute or two just to trickle in before we officially kick things off. While you're settling in, please go ahead and say hello in the chat. We would love for you to share your name, your organization, where you're tuning in from. So great to see where everyone is joining from. So thank you so much for joining us for today's session. I also just want to review a couple of quick logistics, more housekeeping notes. As you'll see, we're in Click Meeting today, so welcome. And this webinar is being recorded. So the slides and the recording will be shared with all registrants after the session. So if you have to step away at any point, no worries at all. You'll get the recording and the slides afterward. And we also want to hear from you. So please share your thoughts. You'll see the chat box. Feel free to introduce yourself, to react, to share what's on your mind throughout the session. We also have a Q&A box, so please share your questions. We'd love to hear from you throughout today's session. My fantastic colleague, Kristen, will be chatting with folks in the chat box and also moderating the Q&A. So again, please continue to share your thoughts. We're so excited that you're here. And with that, I think we're ready to go. So to set the stage, I would like to hand it over to Taproot's CEO, Kat Ward. Kat is a nationally recognized leader in business and social sector collaboration, and she has a bold vision for how pro bono can close the nonprofit AI readiness gap. So Kat, I'll hand it over to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Camille. I appreciate it. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. We are so happy to be with you all today. I really could not miss the conversation today. I'm actually beaming into you from a conference here, so I hope you'll forgive me if there is any background noise that comes out, but I just had to be here for today's conversation. We're excited for it. So I just want to start with who is in this room right now. So most of you joining us today are nonprofit leaders, and you are doing some of the hardest work there is out there. And you came today, I'm sure, with big questions about AI. And we won't be able to answer all of them in the next hour, but we will make the case for how you can move forward, and we'll show you something that we've built specifically for all of you. Before we get into that, I want to start with just an honest recognition of the moment that we're all in. And nonprofits, we are being asked to carry more with less right now. The needs in our communities are growing. We hear this again and again from our partners. The funding landscape is also shifting fast. Many cases, funders are pulling back. And nonprofits like all of you here today, you are the organizations that are the social safety net for so many people. And you're feeling that squeeze in real time. We hear it from thousands of partners that we support every year, and we feel it ourselves because we're a nonprofit too at Taproot. And then on top of all of that, in this moment, there's AI. And I know that's a lot for all of you. AI just feels like it's one more thing, right? One more thing to learn, to worry about, to fall behind on. There is real anxiety here in the sector about privacy, security, not even knowing what's out there. But let me say this clearly. If AI feels overwhelming to you, you are not behind. You're actually exactly who we built this for. Because this moment isn't only a moment of pressure, it's also a real opening. AI is genuinely changing what is possible for the scrappy, incredible organizations that already are doing more than seems humanly possible with the resources that you have. And now we have a chance to do more with less, to streamline the work that drains your team, to free your people up for the mission instead of the busy work without losing control, without compromising your values. We see it already. It's happening in grant reporting and routine workflows and the administrative work that pulls your team away from the mission. So this is not a someday promise, right? These solutions are available now to organizations that get the right support. And that phrase, the right support, is the whole thing for me, because here's what we believe. The biggest gap to AI readiness isn't more AI, more tools, more tech. It's trusted human expertise. Human expertise. You don't need another platform to figure out by yourself, another self-serve course. You need a skilled person who understands your context and who can help you move forward responsibly, securely, with confidence. And I promise you, those people are out there. Many of them are on our call today. This is where Taproot comes in. For 25 years, our whole expertise has been built around closing the gap between the types of pro bono needs nonprofits have and the people who can meet those needs. And now we're applying that model to AI readiness, connecting you with the professionals who can actually help you get there in this moment. With support from Okta, we're launching a first of its kind initiative to help nonprofits adopt AI responsibly while creating meaningful, skill building work for the professionals who make that possible. The AI readiness templates you're going to see today are a first step, and behind them is a bigger vision, a growing marketplace of skilled professionals who are ready to meet you at every stage, a movement to make pro bono a go-to vehicle for AI adoption that keeps people at the center. And because we're a nonprofit ourselves at Taproot, we're building this alongside you. We're not handing it down to you. Right? So that is what I want to leave you with. You are not navigating this moment alone. And the sector is too valuable to be left behind, and it doesn't have to be. So what you're going to see today is a concrete, no-cost way to get started. You can join us for this first effort. It's a great first move, and we've made it as simple as we can. We'll be right beside you the whole way. We believe in the possibility and the potential of this sector in all of you. That is why we're doing this work and why we're so glad to be in this conversation with you. So let's get into it. I'll pass it back to Camille. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Kat, for joining us and for sharing your vision for the sector. So energizing to hear from you and to hear about the power of pro bono and the power of human expertise. That's exactly what we're here to speak to today. So thank you again. And thank you also to everyone introducing themselves in the chat. So great to see folks from Texas, from India, from San Diego, from New York, from all over the country and around the world. So thank you all. For those who don't know me, my name is Camille, and I'm a member of the Taproot team. I'm also joined by my colleagues Nuda and Kristen. And here's what we have on for our time moving forward. We're going to walk you through our brand new AI Readiness Pro Bono templates. So what they are, how to use them, and how to turn that AI question that you've been sitting on or maybe grappling with into a concrete, well-scoped project with the right expert support behind it. And Nuna is going to take you deep on that. And then we'll come together at the end of the session for a live Q&A. So please keep those questions coming, and we'll be keeping an eye out on those. We hope that you leave today with really three things. The first is really access to these templates and clear guidance on how to use them. And hopefully a lot more confidence that pro bono support is a real accessible path forward for your organization's AI goals. So the templates are really designed to help you adopt, implement, and scale AI in alignment with your mission, your values, and your organizational goals. It's a great place to start, a great place to dive in. And I want to say before we dive in, you do not have to have a technical background or be an expert on AI to be joining us today. If you're curious about AI, if you're wondering where your organization fits in, that is more than enough, and you're absolutely in the right place. So before we dive deep, we really want to hear from you. And we're going to launch a quick 3-question poll. We'd love to learn from everyone in the room, and your answers can really help us ensure that today's conversation is as useful as possible for where you are right now, and will also shape our work moving forward. So we'll go ahead and launch that poll. And the first question that you'll see is asking about your AI journey. So we're curious where you are in your AI journey. Are you just starting to explore? Maybe you haven't really used AI at all yet. Maybe you're experimenting, so you're trying tools, but you're still looking for a clear strategy. maybe you're implementing, or maybe you're scaling. So AI is a part of your work, and it's really focused now more on scale. So I'll give folks a couple seconds to share their responses. Again, we really appreciate just hearing from you, learning from you. So helpful to understand where folks in the room are at. Okay, I'm seeing some responses come in. Gonna give it a couple more seconds here. Alrighty. Where are you in your AI journey? Okay. All right. It looks like, there are folks who have responded in every kind of bucket here, which is fantastic. So folks at every step of the AI exploration journey. It looks like lots of folks in the room are really experimenting or they're implementing. So they're trying tools, but they're looking for a strategy, or they're implementing and kind of actively using AI in some areas, but perhaps curious more about scaling or next steps moving forward. Okay, fantastic. So great to learn from everyone. Thank you. You hopefully can see those results up and learn from other folks in the room. Okay, our next question here, again, 3 questions, we're making it quick. Our next question is, what is your biggest barrier to moving forward with AI? Is it that you don't have the in-house expertise? Is it that you are kind of uncertain about data privacy or security? Is it that you are really looking for a clear strategy or for use cases? Is it that, you really are looking, you don't have the staff buy-in or the capacity really to move forward with AI? Or is it something else? I would love to hear from you. So again, looking for nonprofits in the room to really share their insight on this question. And we'll give folks a couple seconds to answer here. Okay, lots of good responses coming in. Give it just a couple more seconds. Okay, fantastic. Alrighty, if you're hovering right over the mouse, final second here to get that response in. Thank you so much again. Okie dokie. All right, we'll go ahead and publish these results. It looks like, folks are really kind of working through a number of these barriers. So looking for clear strategy, looking for that in-house expertise. Of course, we're here today to really talk to the power of pro bono, so we're so happy that you're here. And also thinking through, data privacy and security is so important, adopting AI responsibly and in alignment with your mission. And then also, kind of those other barriers. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, our final question here. What kind of pro bono support would be most valuable to you right now? So we're going to really dive in deep on the templates, but we're just curious, what would be most helpful for you, for everyone in the room here today? Is it really assessing where you stand? Then an AI readiness audit would be most helpful. Are you looking to build an AI strategy? Are you really thinking more about data governance and getting your data AI ready? Or is the piece, what you're really looking for here for pro bono support around change management and staff adoption? Would love to hear from you on what kind of pro bono support would be most valuable to you right now. Okay, seeing some responses come in. Again, I'll give folks just a couple seconds here to get their thoughts in. Perfect. Okay. Seeing some great responses. We'll go ahead and wrap that question out, and please feel free to share your thoughts in the chat as well. Looks like for pro bono support, folks are really looking for support building an AI strategy. Looks like most respondents are there, which is fantastic, and we'll speak to that with our AI readiness templates, but then also looking for support in these other areas, and the templates can support with that as well. Thank you so much for sharing your insight. We're a nonprofit ourselves, and nonprofits are really our North Star, so helpful to hear from you and to learn from you in real time. I am going to pass it over to my colleague, Nuna, to really take us into the templates and speak to all those great insights that folks shared.
Yeah, hi everyone, and thanks, Camille. And thank you all for sharing where you are in the poll. That context is actually really helpful because, as you can see, organizations are coming to AI from different starting points. So that was great to get a little bit of insight on where you're at and the type of information that you are hoping to get today and the support that you are needing. So before we get into the templates themselves, I want to quickly ground us in the two ways nonprofits can use those templates on Taproot Plus. So understanding the difference between the two will definitely help you get more value out of those templates. So as you can see on the screen, the first option that we offer is a session. A session is a 1-hour conversation with a skilled volunteer. It's a great fit for when nonprofits are looking to possibly brainstorm or problem solve for a specific challenge, maybe get some feedback on some questions or some tools that you're interested in, or simply to talk through an idea with someone who has expertise in that particular area. I personally like to think of a session as maybe a quick office hour with a consultant. So if you just have maybe some simple questions, or if you just need to connect with a professional on a specific matter, a session would be a great way to do that. And then the second option is a project. Projects are a multi-week engagement, typically lasting 2 to 12 weeks, and they're designed to help you work toward a specific outcome or a deliverable. One way to think about it is that sessions help you gain clarity, while projects help you create or build something. You have a deliverable at the end. As we go through some of the AI readiness templates today, you'll see examples. I'll show you examples of both a session and a project. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a context on each of these options before we dive in. I also now would like to take a moment to show you where to find the templates on the Taproot Plus platform. That way, when you are ready to create a session or a project, you know exactly where to start and how to choose the template and that best fits your organization, and start using them and connecting with a volunteer. So let me go ahead and share my screen here, and we'll get going. So once you log into your account, and no worries if you haven't created an account yet, we'll definitely walk you through that as well. You will go into your dashboard. And on the your nonprofit dashboard, you have the two options right over here to create a project or a session. And when you click create a project, it's easy as that. The templates are under the quick start right here. And then once you open up that menu, you're able to select the template from the various options that are in there, and then hit select, and the system will automatically populate that template into the request form. And from here, what my biggest recommendation is definitely read through the description, customize it for your organization, and make it yours, and start using it that way. So this is a quick review of where to find it. And also, if you go back, you're able to do the same process and select a session. And that way you can select the template that best fits your nonprofit, and then go from there. All right. So one thing we've been hearing lately from nonprofits is, I know AI could help us, but I'm not quite sure where to start. Or I know what challenge I'm trying to solve for, but I'm not sure how to turn that into a Taproot Plus volunteer opportunity. And that's exactly why we created these ready-to-use templates. So it will be much easier to get started and connect with volunteers through the platform. So I want you to think of these templates as pre-built starting points. So each template takes a common AI-related challenge and turns it into a well-scoped session or project that you can then customize for your organization's specific needs. These templates were created based on what we've heard from nonprofits like yourself around their current AI challenges. We've looked at the most common requests that we've gotten from nonprofits, and then that way we've developed some of these templates. Similar to the poll that we just asked, that's how we compiled some of that information, and we were able to create these templates from what we've heard from nonprofits. So these templates specifically are going to cover 3 broad areas: assessing your organization's AI readiness, building responsible AI practices, and applying AI to real operational challenges. So you'll notice that these templates build on one another. Some organizations, as you saw from the poll, are still figuring out maybe where AI fits into their work, while others might be thinking about their policies around AI or governance or change management or specific case uses. So each template that we have developed is going to cover a description of the challenge it addresses, and definitely read through that and customize it for your needs. It's already selected the needed volunteer skills, so it's already capturing that. Then it's going to have a suggested deliverable of what we think the most appropriate deliverable for that time frame would be, and then a suggested description of the impact and value added to your organization from this pro bono opportunity. So every project templates will have those elements. And together, the templates are designed to support nonprofits wherever they are on that journey. So today I'm going to walk you through one session example and one project example so you can see how they work and how you might adapt them for your own organization. But for now, I want to just zoom out for a moment and show you the full set of templates that we have developed so you get a better sense of what we have. So we have created a total of 5 AI-related templates. So each one is designed to support a different kind of AI need, as I mentioned. The first one is the AI workflow assessment and readiness roadmap. We will definitely go through this specific template in more detail here shortly. So stay tuned for that one. And then we have the responsible AI use template, which is more about structure. This one is going to help your organization create staff guidelines, policies, maybe shared expectations around privacy, appropriate use of AI, and even that needed human oversight and human touch when it comes to some of those processes. Next, we have the AI-enabled fundraising workflows template, which is a bit more specific. It focuses on using AI to reduce some of that administrative lift in fundraising while still keeping donor relationships and staff judgment at the center of that challenge. So those are the main 3 project templates that we have. Then we also designed 2 session templates. The first one is the AI readiness check-in, which we're also going to be our session example. So we'll dive into that in just a little bit as well. And the other session template is the AI tool guidance, which is it's a good fit if your team already has a specific tool in mind and just want expert guidance before moving forward, or maybe deciding on a specific tool that you would like to explore. So you can connect with a volunteer and ask questions regarding that tool and just get a little bit more guidance on what fits best for your team, for your mission, and go on from there. The important thing to know is that you don't have to use all of these in like a perfect order or all of them at all, really. You can start with the template that matches where your organization is today and come back to others as your needs maybe get clearer in the future. Also, I want you to keep in mind that these templates are meant to be sort of suggestions and a good way to start. So I think I've said it plenty of times, definitely customize them to fit your needs. This is just a good sort of like launching pad. So let's go through a couple of those examples that we've talked about and start with the session, with the 1 hour session. So for this 1 hour session, it's called the AI Readiness Check-in. Where should we start? I think really the title says it all. This is for organizations who are interested in AI, but need help figuring out that responsible first step and what that first step could look like. So maybe AI, maybe AI has come up in team conversations around maybe some meeting notes or internal planning, possible a tool for research. So you might be wondering, could this actually save us time? And just as important, where do we still need human judgment and review? What can we rely on AI for? And what can we just work in tandem with the tool to create the processes that you need for your organization? So that's where this session can be really useful. It gives you space to talk through those early questions with a skilled volunteer and walk away with a clearer picture of what makes the most sense for your organization. The goal here is not to leave with like a full AI strategy. The goal is to leave with more clarity and just maybe a few practical ideas and next steps that just feel realistic for your team. But once you have that clarity, you may find that the next step is a larger project like building an AI strategy. So from here, you can take what you've gained from that 1 hour consultation with a skilled volunteer and create a project which we can go into next and see what that could look like to move from that 1 hour session and develop a full project that the volunteer can create. Excuse me, my throat is a little dry, apologize. So the project template that I want to highlight is called a AI Workflow Assessment and Readiness Roadmap. So this is a good fit for when you're ready to move from that early AI exploration into a more focused planning process. So it feels like a natural next session that we just covered. So the main distinction from the session example is the level of volunteer support provided. So with this specific template, the volunteer can work with your team to look at a few key workflows and understand where staff time is being stretched, maybe where processes feel very manual, or there may be opportunities for AI to support the work in a responsible way. So here, using this template, the main deliverable would be a prioritized AI readiness roadmap. What I like about this template is that it keeps the focus on readiness. You're not just asking what the AI tool, you're not just asking what AI tool you should use but you're more looking into the actual workflows, your team's capacity and your mission too. So any recommendations feel practical and aligned with the way your organization works. So by the end of the project, your team walks away with a roadmap that you can use to guide what comes next, whether it's testing a tool or creating an internal guidance. And I feel like this is a good place for me to pause and pass it on back to Camille. So we've looked at how the templates can help shape and a clear volunteer opportunity. But Camille is going to take us into what helps make that partnership successful with a volunteer once you begin working with them.
Thank you so much, Nuna. Really appreciate that deep dive on the templates. And folks, please feel free, as questions come to mind, any thoughts, please feel free, keep sharing those in the chat. Great to see folks responding. So as Nuna mentioned, I'm gonna come back in here for just a few minutes before we open it up for Q&A, because I wanna make sure that you leave today not just knowing what pro bono support is available on Taproot Plus, but really feeling set up to actually make the most of it when you dive in. We know that pro bono works really well when both sides come in prepared. And we've done this work for 25 years, so we have some tips in mind for pro bono partnership success. And the first, really thing that we offer here is to treat pro bono like a paid engagement. That's our golden rule. So we'd encourage nonprofits to show up prepared, to meet your deadlines, to give honest feedback, and to hold your volunteer to the same standard. We know that this is work that affects your mission and that AI is top of mind for folks. And your volunteer also wants to do great work that supports your mission, and they will rise to the occasion when you expect it. So please don't accept anything that isn't right for you just because it was free. Our second tip here is really to come in with a clear scope. So you do not have to have a perfect project plan in mind before you post, and the templates can really help kind of get the ball rolling. You can customize them, as Nuna mentioned, but it is helpful to have a concrete idea of what you're working toward. So a deliverable, an end goal, maybe that's an AI workflow, or maybe that's an AI use policy for your staff. Maybe it's something else. But really having something in mind that you can point to and say, that's what we're building toward. And just as a reminder, Nuna spoke to the difference between projects and sessions. We're really thinking here not about open-ended engagements or job postings, but about really focused, well-scoped volunteer support for that hour or for that longer 2 to 12-week period. Our third tip here is really to be honest about your timeline. We know that folks are excited about AI, maybe or have really important kind of critical questions about AI and are working through this. And quality pro bono, that partnership with the volunteer, takes time. Your volunteer might be employed, or certainly they have their own life and their responsibilities outside of this pro bono engagement. So really build in time for that feedback, for connecting with the volunteer. If this is an urgent need, if this kind of AI pro bono support need is something that needs to get done immediately, or if it doesn't get done right on the first try, that this could really cause emergency circumstances for your organization, or kind of really critically threaten the health and stability of your organization, then pro bono probably isn't the best tool in this case. So again, be thoughtful about your timeline and give time for high quality pro bono to really come through. Save pro bono for work that has room to really develop. Our fourth tip here, and this is a really big one, is to set your team up to show up. So a volunteer can only go as far as you take them. So for something like a project, like that longer 2 to 12-week engagement, are you available to meet with a volunteer? Do you have 30 minutes a week to connect? Can you offer them feedback?
It looks like we might have lost Camille. We'll give it just a few seconds here to see if Camille is able to join back in. But in the meantime, I can continue on with what Camille was sharing to offer feedback to the volunteer. I'm going to give it just a few more seconds here and we can continue on. Thank you all for your patience. Apologize. These are technical things that definitely come up, as you can imagine, when we're doing a virtual webinar. Good to have you back, Camille.
Can you see me now?
Yes, you are. Good to go.
Okay, fantastic. We made it. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. The wonders, the joys of technology. I appreciate your understanding there. So yes, diving us right back in, I'm speaking to the importance of really being thoughtful about your timeline with pro bono, giving a pro bono opportunity really time to develop, and also for connecting with that volunteer for feedback, making sure that you're prepared to really get the volunteer everything that they need to connect them with systems and materials that will help them, create the best support for you, and also being prepared to connect them with the right people internally in your organization. And if you're not ready to really set up the volunteer for success in that way, that's worth knowing before you start pro bono. And then the last tip here is really to make sure that you're aligned internally. I think especially important when we're thinking about AI exploration or implementation. Does your leadership support this project? Will the deliverable, whether it's an AI workflow or an AI responsible use guideline, whatever it is, will it actually get used once it's completed? A fantastic piece of work, created by a skilled volunteer that sits in a folder somewhere or is, lonely on a desk isn't really going to help anyone. So important to get that buy-in at your organization before you post an opportunity on Taproot Plus. And then, of course, finally, we really encourage you to make room to learn from your volunteer, and the volunteer will learn from you as well. You know your community and your mission better than anyone else and better than anyone walking in from the outside. And your volunteer brings a skill set and a perspective that you don't have in-house. And so the best partnerships make space for both. And we hope that you leave room for the volunteer's expertise to shape the outcome of the project and of pro bono support. Okay, so moving on to our next slide here. Hopefully you are completely sold on pro bono, but maybe you're still kind of thinking through lots of different questions about AI. Maybe you're excited about the templates, but you're not sure where to start or what template to choose. And so we have some additional tips on how to think about scoping your AI readiness needs into something actionable. And our first tip here is really to think about what's blocking other work. If there is a gap that's slowing down multiple parts of your work, if you know that your data is really messy and you're thinking maybe AI could help there, or there are workflows that nobody can agree on or are quite complicated, maybe AI could help you there. So think about both for AI readiness, but also for kind of other pro bono support needs. Think about starting with what's blocking up your work and where there might be gaps. And that's a great place for pro bono to really unlock other progress. We would also encourage you to start with what never gets done. So maybe you're thinking about, something related to AI, and you're thinking, okay, that's a next quarter problem, or maybe that's a next year problem. I just don't have time right now. I don't have staff capacity right now. Totally understandable. And that's a great place for pro bono. So you know that this work matters, but maybe you just don't have the bandwidth or the capacity to get to it. And that's a gap that pro bono can really fill for you. We would also really encourage you to go deeper as opposed to going broader. So when you're getting started on Taproot Plus, or you're diving back in on AI readiness, you can post as many projects or sessions as your heart desires. But we kind of encourage you to resist the urge to post many projects across all these different areas, and to instead consider stacking your support in one area. So start, for example, maybe thinking about AI readiness and using these templates, and post that initial session or that initial project, and then build on what you learn, and let each session or project kind of set up the next one. That can be really helpful for building progress, building momentum, and really creating pro bono that can really help your organization and move your mission forward. And then kind of our final tip here, although we could talk about tips for pro bono partnership success all day, is to pressure test before you post. So before you put a project or session up, to really ask yourself, if a volunteer delivered exactly what I'm asking for, is my team ready to use it? Again, speaking to that kind of buy-in, that leadership support, that making sure that you have that internal alignment. And if you're not ready to really move with what a volunteer can create for you, then that's a signal that maybe there's opportunity to do a little bit more internal reflection first. Pro bono is most powerful when you're ready to implement what comes out of it. So we would encourage you to kind of think through these tips and think through these suggestions as you post on Taproot Plus. Fantastic. Okay, well, please keep thoughts, questions, musings coming in the chat. We're going to move now to our Q&A. So we cannot wait to hear what's on your minds. And thank you again for sharing your thoughts in the poll earlier. Please keep those coming. So we're going to start with a couple questions that we received during registration, because folks had some really, really insightful questions through the registration form. The first question was around an internal AI policy. So someone said, we're creating an internal AI policy. Any guidance would be helpful. Absolutely. This is a really common thing that we're hearing right now. And that's why we built the template, which Nuna reviewed, which is the Responsible AI Use Policy Guidelines and Staff Orientation Project. And it's designed exactly for organizations like this one, and maybe also for you, to help you turn kind of that fuzzy, we need a policy feeling into a really concrete and postable pro bono request, establishing AI guidelines and guardrails. And from there, you can get matched with a volunteer who has experience in data governance or responsible AI or organizational policy. The list is really endless here in terms of volunteer skills and capabilities, but you don't have to figure this out alone. And we encourage you to use that template when you're thinking through guidance for an internal AI policy. Another fantastic question that we received was related to staff training on specific platforms. So someone asked us, they said, my staff are really hungry for training on specific platforms. That is a fantastic sign. And it sounds like your team is really ready to move, which is great. And here's how I would think about it. If you don't already have an AI policy or guidelines in place, that could be a great place to start. And again, thinking about starting with the Responsible AI Use Project template. And if you already have guidelines and you've kind of built that foundation, you've set the stage, then it sounds like you might be ready to post another project or potentially a session, which is really more specifically scoped to change management or to platform training. And a tech enablement volunteer, for example, can help you build something really practical and tailored to your particular staff. Another question we received from registration, so many great questions from registration, so thank you everyone for sending these along, was really related to AI tools for nonprofits. So someone asked, are there free AI tools specifically for nonprofits that support digital services, AI agents, or automation? This is a fantastic question, and I love it because it shows how much appetite is out there. And I'll just be honest, I don't think that there is one universal answer in terms of AI tools for nonprofits, because the answer for the right tool is going to depend on your organization, your mission, your workflows, your data. And so we'd suggest the AI tool guidance, is this the right fit session, and using that template. That's what it's designed for, really helping you think through evaluating a specific AI tool or exploring AI tools before you commit or before you kind of devote more time and effort. And that a real human expert, this volunteer, can help you think through it. So you don't have to go down a rabbit hole alone or kind of attempt to make your way through all the various AI tools out in the world. And again, just as a reminder, Taproot Plus is completely free. And to Kat's point earlier, there's incredible value to really human expertise, that human in the loop, someone, the skilled volunteer who can sit down with you, who can understand your specific context and can help you figure out what makes the most sense for you in particular and your nonprofit in particular. So thank you again, everyone, for sending over those questions. All right, we have some other fantastic questions in the chat. I know that one we received is really about matching. So someone asked, do you conduct the matches, or is the process like any other volunteer request? Nuna, do you want to go ahead and take this one?
Yeah, yes, that sounds good. The way the matching project process, works is that as the nonprofit, you will create a volunteer opportunity, whether it's a project or a session, and once we review it, it will get published on the Taproot Plus marketplace, where non-volunteers who are signed up through Taproot Plus will be able to browse the marketplace and also filter opportunities by skill sets or issue area, depending on, like, for example, your mission and the community that you serve. They're also able to filter by location, and once they find an opportunity that matches their interest and skill sets, they're able to apply to that opportunity, and you will receive that application, and you're able to review it and see if they are the right fit and the right match for what you need. So essentially, it's an open marketplace where volunteers will browse opportunities and then apply to what interests them and fit their skill set.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, folks, for raising that question. I see that we have another question in the chat from Catherine, who has asked, what is the approval process for a new nonprofit organization to Taproot or Taproot Plus? Nuna, do you want to take that one too?
Yes. So for nonprofits, a nonprofit would need to be registered in the areas that we serve, which is the US, the UK, the EU, Canada, and India. So as long as you are a registered charity in those areas, or you have a fiscal sponsorship agreement with a nonprofit from any of these areas, you would be eligible to use Taproot Plus services. Another eligibility requirement is that your mission and your organization does not discriminate based off of the protected classes. And we also don't really we're not able to provide services to organizations that proselytize. So those are the main eligibility criteria to use Taproot Plus.
Fantastic. I see that we have another question from Sylvia, it looks like, who has asked, how long does it take to get a response for a proposal? It's a great question. I think you're speaking here really about connecting with the volunteer and matching with the volunteer. And we would say that it varies. So the time that it takes to successfully connect with the volunteer, whether it's a Taproot Plus project or a session, depends on a number of factors that include the specificity of your volunteer listing, really the information you provide a volunteer to get them thinking about the opportunity and if they're the right fit, but also the scope of what you're hoping to accomplish and the information that you share about what you're looking to get out of this opportunity. And also, of course, volunteer availability, really looking to connect not only with the skilled volunteer, but with the right volunteer who's ready and willing to offer you support on that particular need. So, like I said, can vary based on a number of factors. But again, we really encourage you to be thoughtful as you post projects and sessions and to keep those tips in mind to kind of speed up the process and match with the best volunteer for you. Okay, taking a look at the chat to see what other questions are coming in. Okay, looks like we have a great question from Carolyn, which is, how does Taproot evaluate volunteers to ensure they possess the necessary skills for the required task? Fantastic, great question. Nuna, do you want to speak a little bit to that one?
Sure. All volunteers that sign up to Taproot Plus have to sign our community guidelines and agreement saying that they are committed to providing the skills that they are applying for and that they have professional experience in those skill areas. Also, Taproot, we really want to empower you to select the right volunteer that fits the challenge that you're trying to solve for and connect with a volunteer that really works best with your organization. So, for example, for the project, you have the opportunity to have a 30-minute conversation with the volunteers that apply to your opportunity and ask questions and ask about their experience and history, and you can review their resume through the application process. So we really want to empower you to treat it like a paid partnership. And just like you would ask for resumes and interview a paid consultant, we recommend that you do the same with Taproot Plus volunteers and vet them through that process.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nuna. I see that we have another question from James in the chat, who has asked, what is the background and expertise of your AI expert? So this is a great opportunity to talk about really the skill areas that you can get support with on Taproot Plus. Taproot Plus, that online, on-demand digital marketplace, as Nuna mentioned, can connect you with volunteers for support on projects and sessions related to AI readiness, but also for a number of different needs. So I really think about kind of volunteer expertise broadly, and think about, when you're accessing volunteer support for AI readiness, that you might not just be looking for those technical skills, but also for volunteers with change management skills, or volunteers with HR skills, if we're thinking about the staff policy and responsible AI use. Encourage you to think broadly, depending on your specific needs, about how to tap volunteers with many different areas of expertise. And on Taproot Plus, you can connect with skilled volunteers in a number of different, kind of buckets of support. So speaking here about our pro bono menu, we have volunteers in accounting and finance, in business development and planning, in design and creative, in marketing and communications, operations and analytics, software engineering, and writing. So really expansive support from volunteers. And to Nuna's point earlier, kind of as you post opportunities, you can vet volunteers to assess their expertise and the right fit for your organization. Fantastic. Okay, taking another look at the chat here, see if there's one last question you want to answer, just being mindful of time. And again, fantastic questions. You can always reach out to us, help@taprootplus.org for any questions that we don't have the time to get to today. We only have an hour. Wish that we could be with you all day. So appreciate everyone for sharing their thoughts. Okay. Oh, I see another question here from Holly. Can you please repeat, where are the templates you shared located within Taproot Plus? Nuna, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy to do a quick screen share here to just review again where they are located. So let me just, one moment. So once you are logged into your Taproot Plus account, you're able to go to your profile. It'll be on your dashboard, or you're able to go to submit request. Either way works just fine. And then once you click on create a project or create a session, they are located in the quick start section right here under the use a template, and you're able to select the template. I don't know if the screen share will show it, but a menu will open up and then you're able to select the template that you want. And there are other templates on there, not just AI readiness templates. So for example, there is email template design, mission and vision statement development, and things like that. So once you selected the template that you want to use, you click select template, and the system will automatically populate the template for you, and then you're able to edit it as you need to. And then once you complete the editing, you're able to hit submit, and it will submit it to our team to review it.
Fantastic, Nina. Thanks so much. I think helpful to take another dive into Taproot Plus and see where those templates are located. Thank you again, everyone, so much for sharing your questions. We will follow up with folks who asked questions that we didn't get a second to answer. And my amazing colleague, Kristen, is also responding to folks in the chat. I see that Tamara is kind of already talking about, it sounds like a potential Taproot Plus project, working through a new CRM and really looking for volunteer support with system setup and training and user adoption with this new CRM and learning curve. So fantastic to hear folks already kind of thinking through ideas that are coming to mind for pro bono support. So glad to hear it. I'm going to turn it over to Nuna for our next steps as we go ahead and close out.
Yeah, so before we let you go, just a few things that we hope that you would do after today. The first is definitely head to taprootplus.org and create a free account if you haven't done so already. So this is where the templates will live, as we showed, and that's where you will connect with an expert and a volunteer to support you with the challenges that you are having. And then second, definitely use those templates. They're there to help you get started. They're ready and waiting for you on the dashboard. So even if you're not sure what you need yet, I recommend that you explore them. Definitely open one up, read through it. And I'll promise it will help you see your AI questions a little bit differently, and maybe that will inspire new topics and new things that you would want to connect with a volunteer on. And then thirdly here, if you are watching and joining us today and you are a professional yourself and you want to put your skills to work, we want to connect with you as well. So please also head to taprootplus.org and create a volunteer account. The nonprofits that are in the room right now definitely could use people like you and could use your help. So we hope that you are willing to do that too. So yeah, back to you, Camille.
Thank you so much, Nuna, and thank you everyone for joining us. It means so much that you're here with us today, showing up for an hour on a Tuesday to think about how to get your organization AI ready is not a small thing. And it tells us that you really care about doing this right. And the organizations that are closest to our communities deserve people who care about doing it right. So thank you. None of this happens without partnerships. So thank you as well to Okta for supporting this first of its kind initiative to help nonprofits adopt AI responsibly and create meaningful skill building opportunities for the professionals who make it possible. We are here as a resource to you. So as Nuna mentioned, please feel free to reach out for any questions or support. And we'll go ahead and wrap out. Thank you again so much, everyone. And we hope that today makes your AI readiness journey feel a little bit more possible, and that pro bono is a part of how you get there. Take good care of yourselves, and we'll see you on Taproot Plus.